Hello everyone, my name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm going to show you today is Saturday, actually it's Sunday 5/7/2023. It is around 2:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to show you system administration tasks. In particular, we're going to discuss web administrator and the job of webmaster. So we're going to discuss Apache Web Server installation and configuration. So as you can see on my website, I'm running a web server called MyWebUniversity.com, which is this website here. And if you go to some of the pages, this is a book that is online on the web server that's available for everybody. You can just use it, and it is online, it is free of use, and the whole book is at the web server running with Linux Ubuntu. And I have already connected to the web server, which is in the cloud. And for example, if I just say host name here, you can see I'm logged on www.mywebuniversity.com, which is a Linux machine, uname -a. You can see it's a Linux server running. Uname-n will give you the node name, which is www.myuniversity.com. Uname-n give you the Linux, I'm sorry, the N is the node name, -s is Linux, and then V for the version, -r for the revision, the kernel build, and -m for the machine type, which is x86. 64-P also gave you that, and -o gave you the OS and Linux and GNU version. The whole detail is there. In addition, if I clear my screen, say cat etc os-release, you can see that it is a version of Debian Ubuntu distribution. Ubuntu is the Debian distribution, and I'm running 20.04.5. This LTS stands for long-term support. And then the details of the website itself, if you have to download it, you could go on the ubuntu.com and just get it there. Let's look at one more thing, etc star release. So normally there's one file called lsbs release that is also showing you and the information about the release file in shorter form. You can see that it is showing all the detail here. So let's just do this, clear the screen. ID-UN tells me that I'm logged on this machine as root. My print working directory is root. The files that are there, this is the list of files. If I want to see a shorter list of files, I just type in ls. And then at the same time, df-h, it shows me all the file system here. If I want to see df-h more, it tells me that it is running here on these file system, /home/user, the root. I could also look at the individual file system, df-h like this, root partition, var partition, and then temp partition. And then as you can see, the type of file system is when you look at etc fstab file, it will tell you these are extended full file system. So I could also look at this one by saying df-h t extended for t, meaning show me the file system type. So now I could only see the root partition, the user, and the var partition. They're all extended for. And then if I see df-h of root itself is, let's look at the root on the file system. If I look at cat etc fstab file 5 more, the root was right here, extended 3. So that's why when I did the command here, extended 4, this only showed me user, var, and home. And I was wondering why it doesn't show, because that's an extended 4 file system. I'm sorry, extended 3 file system, and that's root. So if you want to see both of them in one shot, you could do something like this, that to see extended 4 minus t and extended 3, extended 3, that could just give you all of them. Or you could try the comma separator here, that it is not recognized like that. So the only way you could do is this format to get both extended 2 and extended 3. And if I use the regular expression that is not recognizing it here, I could say it's either 3 or 4, I could do that and see if it is not recognizing it, 3 to 4, and does not recognize it. So you have to do that format of 2 T's, that's going to show you the slash and then other ones. And then you can also obviously do df-h and then you don't have to even do t. You could just say slash user slash var and slash home. This is also going to do the same thing as above by just saying show me in human readable -h, meaning human readable. So we know about our file system, we know this machine is running, but let's look at Apache Web Server. So systemctl status httpd or systemctl status, let's say I might be running as Apache or Apache 2. Apache 2 is the name. Whatever you started a web server, in this case as Apache 2, it says it's running, and this is all the processes, that the process ID that it started as this. I can also look for ps-ef grep-i Apache like this. Then you can see that the process that is started, the one that is the main is the root, because the configuration of my Apache Web Server is saying that, okay, inside the Apache Web Server, there's some configuration that is stored as root, and then every other process that is and the user dash data and group dash data, it will just be when people are invoking it, they come in as those users on the side. But the main process, the init system D, in this case, system D is the parent process of this process ID. So this is the Apache that currently on the web server is listening to port 80 as well as port 443. So if I look at the configuration here, port 80 is there, and then if I do a net stat minus rn, you see the routing table in that format, but I'm going to do net stat minus rn and minus an for all the routing table and numbers, and then grep minus w. I'm looking for, let's just do egrep rather than grep. Egrep, I'm going to look for port 80 as well as port 443, those two. And you can see all of those ones are there listed. And then I could say grep minus I listen. Minus I meaning ignore the case, so I write it listen in lowercase. And as you can see on TCP version 6, this is listening to port 443 as well as port 80. And then if I do a lsof, list of open file, minus I colon 80, I can see all the processes, the HTTPD that are listening, and then with Apache 2, that is basically this process ID that is for it. And if I do, for example, lsof, of minus p, then this process ID, which is the main process root, you can see that that process has a lot of other sub processes that are coming here. And the shared object files that are open with it. All of that one I can see through port 80 and that are coming. But port 80 is the HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is not secure. I need to just um, redirect the port 80 to 443. That way, when I look at the 443, look at the 443 LSOF minus I colon 443. This is the port that is actually listening to my Apache Web Server. And so the port 80 gets redirected to port 443. And I could show you that in the configuration file, how I'm doing the certificate and everything. So you could see the actual redirection of what I have done to redirect it. And I have to do the SSL, which is a secure socket layer, and then TLS and all that information for the certificate. You have a private key and you have a cert file, all of that information. I could hardly show you everything on those ones because some of the information has to be hidden because it's a production server and I cannot just give all the details to hackers and then just do it. But every web server that, whether you show it to people or not, programmers, developers, hackers, they know that they're listening, you're listening to port 80 or 443, you have a certificate for it and everything else. Just by going to the website, that information is already revealed here. So if you go to, like, for example, MyWebUniversity.com main page, you can see that it's HTTPS. This is saying that you're going on a web server that is secure. It's Hypertext Transfer Protocol, S for secure. And then here, the lock is coming because this certificate is valid certificate. You can click on the lock here and it says connection is secure. So if you go to the actual certificate, the certificate of authority that was issued, the common name here, the C name, it says common name. The name was matching the certificate. So it is www.mywebuniversity.com. And you can see even here the encryption, fingerprint, and all the SHA-256, everything that is used for the encryption. It is showing the actual certificate has a issue date and an expiration date. And then when it expires, this certificate will not be safe. So you have to renew it before in my case, it's Wednesday, February 19, 2024. And next year, and by February 2019, I should be renewing it, which I'm going to do that one. The good thing is that certificate doesn't cost as much as used to be. And so it is cheaper nowadays, especially for a website like mine, or maybe even on Google or website, there are other ones. It's worth it to just make sure that your websites are all secure. Notice if you type in HTTP google.com, it will redirect to HTTPS google.com. Similarly, if you go to a bank or something, they all have their own certificate. Notice this is the common name is Google. The expiration date is Monday, July 10, 2023. So by July, they are going to renew it. It is just every time you renew the certificate, it gets updated. And if you go to like a bank, for example, or some other system, which I'm not going to go to every company, let's go to oracle.com. And notice that I type in oracle.com and automatically take me to that one. If I go to redhat.com, notice I'm saying that go to redhat.com, it automatically go to secure page here. So if you type in here, MyWebUniversity.com, even if I just do HTTP, because I port forward from port 80 as a webmaster, you have to do that when you're doing the web administration work for your website. Somebody type in HTTP, you have to port forward it to HTTPS. And notice that here it says, do you want to go to www.mywebuniversity, and then say yes, go ahead, take me there. So if somebody say HTTP www.mywebuniversity, automatically you port forward there. with HTTPS. And then a lot of these information, you can actually do it at your web server there. So on the web server, the directory that you're running the web server, you can also run a command called pwdx. So if I say pwdx of this process, print working directory of executable, where this executable started, it started from the root file system. So if I go here, ps -ef direct -i http there, or let's just do Apache rather than HTTP. These processes are showing. So that means that I have some configuration on the file system CTL status, and then Apache 2. You can see that the system is running Apache, and then all the configurations are there. I don't know if maybe I could. Let me just check. etc Apache 2. So right here, I'm on the main page of etc Apache 2 on the Ubuntu servers. Notice that there's sites.available, sites.enable, supports.conf, and a lot of variables and other stuff that you have to do. For this site, in order for me to enable it, this apache2.conf file, I'll show you the content of that file. Let me just do a list -ld apache 2.conf file. This is again on a Linux Ubuntu. On a Red Hat, it is different. And then I built this Apache Web Server maybe from the source, or maybe I built it in binary by just doing apt install Apache 2. If you do it from the source, it's a different way. You have to configure it and do a make test, make install. And then after that, and actually do a .configure, put the environment and make test, make install. And then after the installation, you can configure it post installation. Because I did it a number of years ago, I'm just going to do this one on a Red Hat platform as my development machine. So whatever changes I can do in order for me to deployed on production, I'll do it first on the development server. But the development server can even be a Windows machine. It doesn't have to be a Linux Ubuntu server. Now I'm going to do it on a Red Hat web server, so I could use a different build, a different, Python version, to see if there are some kind of dependencies. I don't want to have any dependencies on the operating system, or a Python version, or a Perl version, or Java, GDK stuff, or anything. I want to just make sure it is portable, and then those dependencies, you should eliminate it. The reason that your application should be operating system agnostic, doesn't care whether you run it on a Windows platform, Linux, Mac, Unix. You should just always be on the look that someday some operating system could go end of life, and then support is dropped, like Oracle dropped the Sun Solaris support back in 2009 when it acquired it. Afterward, now it is back to supporting it till 2034. So a lot of people already migrated from Solaris to Linux. But if you are going back to Solaris, make sure that some of the application are available for you. So if you're using a Python version 3.9, you're not able to just, use Python on Solaris 11.4. The latest they have is 3.6 maybe. And if there's a newer version, they got to inform all the developers. Otherwise, most people, they're just using other platforms. So it is what it is. Sometimes you have to work with them. They already do it for a good reasons, whether it's Sun Microsystem or Oracle or Fujitsu or IBM or any vendor or Red Hat, all of them. Sometimes they get acquired, and then that new company sometimes support it, and sometimes they make it end of life. Like Red Hat just made CentOS end of life, but they come up with the rocky version of it. So when I say that is what it is, what I mean is that as a developer, you make sure that your application is supported by the vendor, as well as your webmaster, as well as web administrator, as well as DBAs. They know what they're doing, and they can just support you no matter what operating system it was previously. You can migrate it to a new operating system. You can bring it to the cloud. You can move it from virtualization to maybe Solar zoning, or from Solar zoning to virtualization of VMware, or cloud computing, or Amazon Web Services, or a standalone server. But as long as you can have full support for the application, all the vulnerability is resolved by you without having too much dependencies on a particular vendor, then your code is more safer, secure, and it is supported. Your management team and your other co-workers and application users are going to appreciate you as an admin, or as a webmaster, or as a DBA, that your software and everything is secure and safe, and your performance is not running in degradation mode just due to some application causing issues. So we talk a lot about that one, but let's just look at the content of this file. I'm going to do cat minus n to show the line number, Apache 2.com file. And you can see here, let's just 236 lines. I'm gonna do a more, and you can see this one here tells you all the configuration files, and then the lines that are commented are not going to be important. So what I'm going to do is just comment out the one that are grep minus IV. Let's just do a V, and then look for the pound. I don't want to see the pound that's commented, so we want to see only the lines that are the current configuration. You can see here that some of the directives that are there: PID file, timeout, 300, keep alive on, max keep alive request. All of these information, log level is to info. You can put it in debug mode when you test it, or all this information. Ports.conf was there, the directory, and then the CGI, and the htaccess. All of that one is on this configuration file. And the other file that was there, that was referenced here, is ports.com file. And ports.com file is an important file. Here you just see that I'm listening to port 80, as well as 443 is commented, because right here I'm just doing, if mod SSL was found, then just listen to port 443. If you have this line also listening, this would be causing problems. So you just have to make sure that only you enable listening to this one if mod SSL is enabled. And then on this one, you actually have an option to enable it or turn it off there. If you're not running the certificate, obviously, you're going to just have to do that one. Here, the sites dash enable, I'm going to go there and notice that I have a MyWebUniversity.com file, which is symbolic link to sites available. So inside the sites available, this file actually is going to say that how I should have the redirection to port SSL. So when people come and redirect to the root, it's going to just take it to HTTPS. That's automatically is going to transfer to HTTPS. And then the document root is var www.html, the server name, the listening port, and server admin. Those information are important. So if you want to receive an email when the server is down, and that you make sure that the server admin alias or a directive is set. Here that CGI bin, for example, how the CGI bin scripts should be running, whether the PL for Perl or Python whatever or .cgi, that extension is going to be understood here. And then server cgi.ben.com file is there, and then the access, all that information is available here. And at the same time that it understands PHP and PHP, SHTML and CGI for matching those ones. Let me just see what other files I could show you here. Inside here, the site available, we look at it, env vars is the list of variables that when you run this script, it just sets all your Apache environment variables related files, and then how it is going to use what language and everything. What other files are important here? Oh, the search file. Okay, the search file is the search directory here, and then notice the search file. You have a server.key and you have a server.cert, and those are the actual certificate of authority files that you can just use OpenSSL commands to just create these key files, and then get a server.crt file from the certificate of authority file that comes with an intermediate file and the actual cert, and then you deploy that one, and then on your web server, basically, it will read these two files as key and cert, and then have some directive there, and it will make sure that it works for you. So if I just say grep -I server.crt, I'm sorry, I have to do this command here, this to star.com file. And then let's see if, so this is not on this directory. And then I'm going to check the variable site Apache 2 ports, and then let me just look at the, so let me just go to search directory one more time and open SSL keys cert. Okay. Let's assume that you forgot where the certificate files or reference. So this is how you find it. You just are on this directory. You say find dot minus name, and then a star minus type, and then F for the regular file. And then you could just do that one, or just say minus exact grep minus IL, search for it, and then look for the server.key, for example, where it is used as a string. So then it's gonna just look at it, and it says, oh, it is under the site.enable and site.available, all of that information under the site.available and site enable is used there. So if I just do the same thing with the server.crt file, you can see that that is used there as well. So let's just look at the sites.available or sites.enable. And so I'm going to go here, clear screen, PWD. Let's go to sites.available and look what we have. As you can see, I have a file called default -ssl.com file. Inside that file, if I do default -ssl.com file, more on it, we most likely are going to see something with the server certificate key file directive. Similarly for the cert file and that are there. So the only way you could see as simple as that, if you say grep, let's say -w or -I server dot whatever, whether it's .key or .crt, inside this default and dash ssl.conf file, you would know that, okay, it matched this as the key file. And then let's look at the .cert file. If there's a CRT file, the CRT file was not on this one, and then most likely it is somewhere reference here, but maybe a CER file. CER file maybe. Server itself, okay, that is not there. And then the one that we looked at it is default ssl.conf file. So the server name, the CRT file, I did not call it server.crt. I call it the host name www.MyWebUniversity. That's why the CRT file is a number of them with digicert or something. So let's look at this one, say, and instead of this grep, we could just say, show me the CRT file, anything that CRT file. And then here, these are, both of them are commented out. Let's look at one with the MyWebUniversity, because I did it a few years ago, or a few months ago, or even the name, I don't remember what I named it, but here this certificate file is .cer file. So if I just want to look as an admin, no matter what the case is, and instead of this grep, I could do an egrep. So I say egrep, show me anything with CRT file, or anything with CER file, or anything with key file. This is going to list all of them. And then since the CER file is the one that I was interested, I found it. And then the same thing with here, this is the actual certificate, and this is the intermediate file. And the key files are also there for the private key, where I have those ones. And then, so if I'm looking at this one and I say grep minus v, the pound, I don't want to see the one that are commented out. And then I could just say grep minus v, the pound within the code. I'll just get exactly what I'm looking for. As a web administrator, your job is to make sure that you know which field, which file, which directive needs to be updated. When you apply the new certificate, then you're done. The systemctl status Apache 2 is gonna just show you the status that is up and running, and those processes that are up and running is also there. And if you have any issue var log, then here you can see that there's a number of logs that are written on it. One of them most likely is the Apache. So if I do ls minus ld Apache, let's see, there's Apache 2 log file. So ls minus l, ls actually Apache 2, ls-ld Apache 2 will give you that. But then when you do this without the information saying that show me all the files, you can see that is inside the Apache 2, everything that is happening, you can see them. And then if you do ls minus ltr, the last file, or showing the access.log and error.log and other related information. So you can see that, like, if there's any error on the error.log, it will show here. Tail minus f on the error log. As administrator, you should be able to look at your web server and see what's going on. The access.conf file, it shows that who is accessing your website. So if you do a tail minus 10 lines, that access.log from the web server, the IP address, everything that came out, what browser or what Chrome or what Windows or whatever application they use to access it, it will be on your access.log file. So that's good to know. And this is the web server that the public sees it. So you're the webmaster or web developers on the server side, which is this is how we showed you that you see it. Now, this was Linux Ubuntu, as you could see here, etc OS-release. What I'm gonna do today is gonna make my VM that I built last time. I'm just gonna use that VM as a development machine. This one says it's powered off right now. Let me make this screen a little bit bigger. The display, I think, is a little bit too small for you to see the VirtualBox stuff. So I'm gonna make this one a little bit bigger. The text size, 500, that is good. Let me just try it. And just change this one to 150 and say okay. So now we made this one a little bit bigger. It looks nicer this way. Now you see this VirtualBox is power off. And I'm going to start that one by clicking this start button. So I go to this Red Hat machine, this powering virtual machine, and the notification comes in, and then the switch to scale mode. I'm going to click on that one. And the auto keyboard capture, I'm going to let it go. This one is starting the virtual machine right now. And because I have 16 gigabyte of RAM allocated for this virtual machine, and it is a powerful Intel 64 and 11 generation of IP7. It is really fast, so I could just log in on the system. The VM is already up and running, and I'm going to log in, and now I'm logged on. It was less than 30 seconds or something lower. And then right here, if I click on this terminal, the terminal opens up, and I'm available to do some work here. So this time I'm logged on as Murtaza, which is my son name, and then I'm logged on as him as a regular user. I'm going to become root first. And before I become root, let me just make this screen a little bit bigger so you can see better. And then I'm going to resize this terminal. And I could also go on this, and then it's a scale mode. I can actually increase it to look bigger and better. And then this one, I'm going to move it, this one a little bit smaller. It's too wide. And then let's just see. Now it is looking okay, but I want to just have the size do like that. And I think that's good enough. Clearing the screen here. Now I'm going to show you that prompt shell 1 is that which shows the user ID at localhost and everything. So I'm gonna just change that one to export PS1. PS1 is equal only $, because I could see the rest of them by running a command. So now I can clear a screen, and now I'm pwd id-un, and then id -gn for group name, and then at the same time I could say pwd print working directory. I'm there, and then a uname -a. I'm on the Linux local host. Host name is going to say local host at the local domain. I could say this one, and then cat -d delimiter dot minus field 1. I could get the domain name, and local host name, and then a field 2 would give me the domain name. So I could get all that information. That's why I changed my prompt to only show the $. But then now, if I say echo $, PS1, it's only showing you the $, which is this $, as output. And then Now my prompt, which is set to the $, is showing that, and the blinking cursor is ready for me to issue command. So in order for me to install Apache or something, I need to do it either way of the two methods. The first method is to just get Apache installed from the Red Hat repository and then just use it as the binaries are available in a package format, or get the source code and build it. I have already, on the website, I have already done that one. If you go to my website at my YouTube channel, there's Apache build process here that you might be just saying, okay, how did we do it? And there's entire video are available just under one of these ones. So you can search for Apache on the search here. Say Apache there, and then the video that shows up here, you're welcome to watch it. And there's two videos. One of them is going to show you how I built Apache from the source code, and the other one is just like a build Apache from source code right here with AS assembly LD for loader, GCC, the GNU C collection compiler, and C++, which is GCC is for C, and then G++ is for the C++, and then configure, make, with all those other details are here, APR utils. So watch this video if you have to build a version of Apache from source. The entire video is going to help you that one. But if you want to just use Apache from the repository, today I'm going to give you a chance to learn that one again from right here. Okay. So how do I know whether Apache is installed or not? I could say on this one, since this machine is OS-release is a Red Hat version 9, 9.1, it's Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, and the short form is this file cat etc Red Hat-release. It is there. uname-a would also tell you that you're running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9, and the kernel build uname-n is giving you the node name, uname-r is the revision or the build of the kernel, and all this information. Similarly, that we did this one on Ubuntu, it works here as well. So it's not like you learn it on one Linux distribution, that you cannot use that one on the other one. So a lot of this information is exactly the same thing that you just did here. And then let's just clear the screen and see if Apache is installed. RPM -q C HTTPD. It says HTTPD is not installed. This RPM, Red Hat Package Manager, was originally used on Red Hat, and then a yellow dog update modifier. That one is kind of, we went from RPM to yellow dog update modifier, and then now to DNF. But RPM, yellow dog update modifier, YUM, and DNF are always used interchangeably for handling packages and installing software from repository, from Red Hat repository. And then since this one is a Red Hat-release, is telling me, sorry, cat etc Red Hat-release. This one is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.1. And so we are going to use DNF on package management. And then the previous version of YUM, if I say which YUM, yellow dog update modifier, and that yellow dog update modifier, file user bin yellow dog update modifier, is symbolic link to DNF-3. So DNF also is DNF is also symbolic link to DNF3. But DNF-3 is the actual Python script, and it is not that big. So if you look at this file, word count minus L on it, you can see it's 62 lines. If I just look at more on it, you can see the actual Python script that does a lot of sys and path and all the other ones for those modules in order to do the work. Now the thing that I'm going to show you how to download HTTPD from repository and how to install it. Since it's not installed, if I say DNF install HTTPD, or let's say do a search first, search for HTTPD, it's going to just say, I found out a number of packages that are all x86-64, right? So the main one that we want to just get the HTTPD, or let's just look at this one, say more. You can see the main one over here. It says Apache HTTP Web Server, which is httpd.x86-64. Why am I interested in .x64? Because of uname dash machine type M, or dash P for platform. So that one is telling me that I'm using x64. So when I do RPM here with the DNF search, I could say grep x86-64. That's good enough to just match those ones. You can see all of those ones are showing up. But I was interested on the http.x86. Okay, so the one that I was interested in, you could just look for the exact name or grep out the name. This is the one that we were looking for. And then I could say, for example, here, clear screen, say, with this one, I could say grep -i Apache. That would also show the Apache HTTP web server. Here, there's a number of them, it's matching. And then the one that I'm looking for is this, even for Apache HTTP web server, is that .x86_64. So DNF search httpd.x86_64. Why is not showing this one? Let me just clear the screen here. It doesn't make sense. Oops, sorry. DNF HTTP grep Apache. Like more. The zoom is on in front of me. I just have to move it because it's hard. You are not seeing the zoom text, but when I type in, it's just, and I don't see anything here. Let me just move it out and move this one a little bit down. Now I can see what I'm typing. Sorry for you see all this slash is not supposed to be there, and then I do more. Now you can see that what I'm typing, and I can see what I'm typing. Sorry about that. So with the x86-64 bit, we saw the actual processes here. If I do a more here, you could see that the one that I'm interested in is this one. So right here is httpd.x86_64. I could also do a DNF list, httpd.x86_64. And then if you see that one, if it is there, that's the one that I need to install here with the list here. And then I could just also say, is this one actually installed on my system, RPM-QC? And it says this is not installed. So if I try to install this package the way I did it here with the list, I could say DNF install. Since I'm logged on with Murtaza, it's going to say you don't have a root access. Under the root access, this one needs a super user privileges. So in order to do that one, you could either put a sudo in front of this and just provide the password, or just become root first and do it there. I rather become root because if I do more commands afterward, I don't want to type in sudo every time. And so even if you do sudo one time, you could do sudo su dash, and then now I become, I type in the password of the user that I'm logged on, and then I become root here. Now notice ID-UN is root. So I'm gonna echo $ PS1. PS1 is pointing to /u for the user, /h for the host, and /w for print working directory. I don't need that one. I could just say ID-UN. I know I'm root. Host name, I know that I'm on the localhost.local domain, and my print working directory is /root is there. So I'm gonna just change export PS1 to, and just show me the pound rather than too much information here. And then when I do this one now, my PS1 that I was typing before, it's just a pound sign. And I still know that I'm root ID-UN. That information, what was there, host name, all that information is still the same, but I can get it from typing a command when I just doubt where I am. So if I make a directory called new dir, and then I just cd to do new dir, I am here, but I can always type print working directory, and I know that I am on that location. If I cd this one, do I pwd, I know that location. So I don't need my prompt constantly to tell me what I'm, where I am, because at some point you have to just be aware of your surrounding and do it right. But it is good if you're working on so many machines to have these prompts helping you, so you don't make mistakes and inadvertently type a command on a given server that you thought that you're on server A and you did run the command on server B. So let's go back to the Apache stuff here. Now I clear my screen, and then remember the command that we did. First we say RPM -QC HTTPD. It says it's not installed. And we also did DNF list httpd.x86_64-bit. That one also shows that that package is not installed yet, but it is available in the Red Hat repository. In order to know what is on my repo list, I can say DNF repo list. So this is where I'm going to download the RPM. As you can see that some of the repo lists that are enabled is already here. So if this one shows as a package that's available for me, then I can install it. So all I have to do is say DNF install and then HTTPD. Since it's HTTPD, whatever is related to HTTPD, mod HTTPD and Lua and all other ones, it's going to show that the one that are matching here. You can see the HTTP core and then and so on, utils and other ones. But the main one is HTTPD, the one that I'm installing, and the APR, Apache utils, APR utils, and all of that one are available. I'm going to say go ahead and install all of them. Now it is installed. So this time, if I say the DNF RPM -QC HTTP, it shows that it is already installed. And notice it shows me the path of the etc Apache HTTPD conf directory and other ones. So that means that the package is installed. And if I say DNF list HTTPD, it's also going to show that this package is available and it is installed as well. But if I say which HTTPD, it's going to show me the user SBIN HTTP as binary, view user SBIN HTTPD. This is the executable link format of that one. And then if I say which Apache CTL, and that is also showing me that it's a user sbin, that script that is there, file user sbin Apache CTL. This was the old scripts that we used to do a start with that one, or HTTPD, that sometimes is symbolic link to HTTPD. But because we're running system D, so if I say ps minus efa grep minus I system D, the system D is the the process ID one, and that is the process ID of it. So when my system starts, if I do lsof minus p process ID one, that is just showing all the associated processes that are symbolic link, or the files that are symbolic link, or the sockets and everything that are symbolic link to the system D, that is just to the process ID one, which is system D. So at this time, if I say which systemctl command, systemctl is one of the system D files or binary that is called system control user sbin systemctl. When you look at this systemctl command, sorry, I typed it wrong. Which systemctl, it was not sbin, and the command by accident I typed sbin. That one is going to show you that it's an executable link format. This is the one of the binaries that is supporting systemctl commands. So if I say systemctl status HTTPD, notice HTTPD at this time is installed, but it is not enabled on the system. Let me just clear the screen again. Clear the screen and then run this command. You can see that it is installed, but it's not enabled yet. It is showing it is dead. So why is it dead? Let's just look at one more configuration directory. At this time, I'm going to go on Red Hat to lab systemd system. When you go on this directory, you have a number of services. Anything with the services here, or let's just look at files dot service not services. So anything with the dot service or files that you could say that they have some startup script and stop all of this. And then you can see all of these ones are there, whether it's SSHD or firewall D or system D, something, all of those ones are basically available for you to do startup and stop. So at this time, what I'm interested on this directory is to see the two files, or the files related to HTTPD. And notice that for HTTPD the service is this one. So if I look at clear the screen, say ls minus ld httpd.service, that is the service that is there, file httpd.service, that is the ASCII file. I'm showing you a lot more in detail than just showing you like a summary things, so you understand the concept behind it. You can do a lot of advanced level work on your Apache Web Server or Linux Web Server, as well as Red Hat Server, as well as Ubuntu. And so have some patience with me, sorry if I'm just showing you too much. HTTP.service here, when you look at it, this is the startup scripts, all of that information. And then sometimes you modify these directives for different purposes, sometimes you don't. On the older system under etc init.d, there was these services that you would stop and start for Apache CTL, stop and start. Here, everything is controlled by systemd. What I mean by the systemd, for example, I could say systemctl status and then show me the HTTPD. it shows that it is not enabled yet. So if I want to bring it up at boot time, I just enable it. As soon as I run the systemctl enable HTTPD, it creates this associated symbolic link on the user lib systemd for that service. And then that file gets created. Now I do the status. Now notice that it says it's enabled, but I haven't started it yet. So if I just say, and instead of this, I just say start, I could start it. And now I started. If I just look at the status, at this time it says active running, and then HTTPD is running in port 80. You can see here port 80 is started. That is because the configuration file is configured to run by default on port 80. So I can also do lsof -i:80, and that would show me all the process of Apache HTTPD that are still listening right now there. I could also do a netstat -an grep -i listen, and then grep 80. That would also show the processes that are running. But let's do a couple of more commands that you need to know. Systemctl, let's do the show HTTPD. When you do show, it just shows you all the directive for HTTPD that are there. As you can see here, all the directives are available for you. Show. And then another command that's very useful is that instead of the show, you could do the cat command. Cat is just going to concatenate the content of HTTPD related configuration files. So it shows that how those ones are coming from http.service and the systemd directory that we did this one. Remember this file ls-l httpd.conf .service. This one, if you cat that one, you can see that it's the same information, or just do this command. It will just give you the same information. So we notice that it's up and running. So when I say it's up and running, by default, it is listening to port 80. Now let's just come back here on this screen, and then I'm just gonna start Firefox here. So since I'm having this screen here, I'm going to just make it a little bit wider and bigger. I'm gonna type in Firefox. And then this should open Firefox on my web browser. And then since I said respond to port 80 on localhost, and this one, I have to go to port 80 rather than port 88. So 80 is by default should be there. Now you can see that it says Red Hat Enterprise Linux page. This is the page that are coming here. So how is this page proves that I'm actually on this web server? I can also go to http://127.0.0.1, and that will take me the same page here. So this is basically the page that we just started. Let's come back to this screen here and minimize this one for now by right-clicking here. Okay, let me just see where's minimize. Menu bar. Okay, it's kind of funny that it doesn't give me that option, but maybe I can drag it down here for now, just to get going with this one. So now you can see it is listening, the Firefox, we open it, but on this window, which we started, I'm going to just clear my screen here, and then just go back here on the directory pwd. I'm gonna go to etc httpd. So notice that when I'm on this directory, If I do a ls command, it shows these files. And then if I do ls -l, it gives me a long listing of the files as well. But I want to be going to the conf directory first. The conf is the configuration for HTTPD, and the conf.d is for SSL certificate stuff. So at this time, we're interested in port 80, which is a httpd.conf file. So I'm here. If I do ls -l, notice that here, -l, it shows me that I have a file called httpd.conf file, and then vim vi httpd.conf file. I can go to the top of that file and just say, go to the top and then search. Let me just change the size of this window. It is too wide, so you could see. I think that the text size is too big. But it is good enough so you can see the directive easily. If I go on the vim, I say go to the first line and then search for lesson. Notice that the lesson, the port here, I'm listening to port 80 right here. So the port that you're listening is good. It's listening to this one. Another directive that's important is server name. Server admin is basically saying that who is the webmaster, that if there's an issue, the server admin response. But what I'm interested in server name. So at this time, the server name does not have any name, and we can associate a name rather than just giving it just localhost or colon. And I will show you how to do that one here as well. Let's just say, for example, at this time we leave it so I could demonstrate a number of other things and show you more. So server admin is the one, and then user, how the users are coming on the web server is there. When the process starts as root, it's going to have other child processes. When people come in to visit the website, they come in on as Apache here. And remember on the other one, as was saying www-data, here is users Apache, group Apache. So if the user and group does not exist on your system, grep -i Apache etc password and etc group. If it does not exist, you have to create it in order for the files to be touched properly with the ownership of that and the group of that. So coming back to this other screen, let's just open one more here. And this time I'm going to go to export ps1 is equal $. I have to do that one in order to clear it, and this is screen better. So at this time, if I just go to etc httpd, notice that inside the httpd, there's another directive here that I should have shown you on the vim. So another directory says document root. Document root is very important. Whatever is document root is pointing to, then you need to look for all the HTML file or JavaScript and PHP files, anything that you run Python scripts, that it should be under this var .html. There's also a directive called cgi-bin. Let's search for cgi-bin, and that's the script alias cgi-bin. This is var cgi-bin on this one. That's also important. Another important directive is log level. Let me just go to the top and search for log level. And then error log is the logs where it creates it here. Error log is there, and then the other one I said, if I go to the logs, log level, right there, it's a warning. So you can set it to info or debug or warning, depending on the severity. Here's a list of the log level, what you can set it to. You can set it for debug to trace some issues, or you can put it on info. So you could just get less output, or warning, less output also, notice or error, emergency. And the debug will just give you more output. So once you troubleshoot, make sure you just put it back to warning or info, so you don't get too much into your log level. And then the path to the log files, as you can see, the log file, if I search again for log file, let me just, yeah, the error logs, notice that this error log is logs and then the error log. So under the logs directory here, if I go to the main web server, where I am here, there should be a log directory, logs directory, which I am on the main HTTPD logs, and these are the error logs. So whenever you start your system, the access underscore logs and error logs get be written by the startup, and then if it doesn't exist, it will create it at the time. And so if you clean up everything on the log, you just make sure that these files are getting attached again when you start up. And then at the same time, you can rotate them so the size does not grow too big. This one is right now small, but eventually will increase as you're working on it. And especially if you have it in debug mode and you forgot to put it in the debug mode, take it out of debug mode, then it would be a problem. Excuse me. Okay, so let's go back to the startup. We already did the startup, and then Apache is running. So I told you that right now, and the Apache is running. I'm gonna go to the www directory and just prove it to you that yes, we're good with this web server already, because it is serving us. So let's go to cd to var www directory here, and notice here all the files that are on that www is owned by root, with group root, with read write access. So I'm going to go to HTML here, and then here, and there's no file yet, var www HTML. That's kind of odd, because at least the directive where the files were pointing to, that Red Hat on the browser side that showed up, it should have at least one index.html file here. So let me just check on the configuration back again, HTTPD, to see why this path var www HTML does not have any file here yet. And the way you could do is to create a file and attach it and just validate to see if it works or not. So I'm on this directory, cd to conf directory, clear screen, grep -i, document. So if without the -i, I have to type in D in uppercase, document root, and R is in uppercase. httpd.conf file, and it says that it's a var www HTML. So that is the directory var www HTML. I'm going to just attach a file there and create a file. Since I'm root and then I was owning access on that one, I'm going to create it as root first and then change the ownership as www. Actually, I could say right here, clear screen, let's -ld HTML, sorry, var www, and then let's -ld HTML. That one is there, so HTML. Let's just create a file here. I'm gonna say vim index.html. I'm just gonna say index.html, and then at this time, I wanna just create a new file called HTML, and then I'm gonna say head, and then just have a title, say a new HTML file, just anything you could write that doesn't have to be any what I wrote. Title, and then now we're gonna close the head. Notice that it helps you on the Vim editorial on the terminal. It's very kind of like responsive based on where I put the tag. So this is there, and then the head. Now I'm gonna do a body here, and I just say, let's say header 1. Let's just say welcome to my Web University free educational videos. So I type in that. It doesn't have to be that long. It could be anything for as a header 1. So I'm gonna put this information here and move this one a little bit here, videos, and then do a /h1 here. So on the HTML tag, everything you open, you have to close it as that one. If I create a paragraph here, paragraph doesn't have to be closed here. Say, this is a simple test. So you could write that one, and then now /body is gonna go there, and then /HTML gonna go to the end. And since I started with uppercase, I'm gonna end it. For each tag that you do, the tag itself is going to, let me just move this thing out, Control X. Okay, so every tag that we open, the slash, that tag name closes it. Now we have done for all of them, let's just accept the paragraph, we don't need to close that one. So if I say cat -n index.html, this is the file that we just created here. But notice that index.html file here is owned by root. I'm gonna go back to the browser here. Let's minimize this one, and then look at the browser here, and then I'm gonna just say /index.html. And notice that it started our welcome to my Web University free education videos. This is a simple test. And if I just want to change the color of that one, obviously on the var .html clear screen. Oh, this is the Linux Ubuntu web server. I want to be on the Linux Red Hat server on the development machine. So right on the one that I'm right here, clear the screen. The ownership of the file, I'm going to change it to Apache. Remember Apache on the etc password and etc group, and the user group was the Apache. So I could say change owner Apache : Apache on index.html, and now index.html file is Apache, which is meaning that the Apache owner could read write. Everybody has read access on it, the group as well as others. And so at this time, I'm gonna say copy index.html and just call it index.html. Let's just call it under new.html. I'm going to just do that one. At this time, if I just say, okay, great, that is done. And let's just do one more thing here and look at the files. Again, the ownership of the other one is not there. So I'm going to just make that new also. Now the ownership is also there. But there's no file differences. So if I say diff between index.html and then index_new.html, there's no file difference here. Echo $ question mark saying I did not find anything different between the two. So if I minimize this one and then go back to this interface here, notice that the index underscore new is gonna just do the same thing here. Now I'm gonna just go back to the command line here, and then this time I say vim index underscore new.html. I'm gonna just introduce some color here. So if I just say, let's say on this paragraph, I could just say font, and then I say color is equal, and let's say blue. We could just do color blue, and then right here on the paragraph, after we did this one slash font, close that font. Here for this one, we're gonna center it. So let's say the header, we're gonna just say center. You could write the lowercase center or uppercase, but be consistent whatever you choose for the tags. Make sure that you just choose it so you can modify them programmatically when you need to. And so now it is updated. And if I just minimize this window again, this window shows up. Notice as soon as I refresh it with this window, this becomes in the center, and then this one become blue right there. So now this is moved to the center, and this one is blue. So a lot of the HTML codes that you can do, you can update it, but notice what we showed you here. So the web server is, development web server is already up and running, and I'm looking at it. Now, how do I make this to serve the index page of my web server that is on MyWebUniversity.com? So MyWebUniversity.com is this page, and now this one is coming with. Okay, so this one somehow I have to do the HTTPS www.mywebuniversity.com. Yeah, so the typo was not finding the DNS name. Usually the DNS name is just pointing to wherever host you're pointing to, and each host resolved to an IP address. So let me show you that. On this command line here that we already opened, I'm gonna save it, clear a screen here. I say ns lookup, name server lookup, www.mywebuniversity.com. So if on the etc host file here, I have another mywebuniversity.com, it's gonna make sure that this is locally not defined on this. So it goes on the internet and find this IP address. So whether I type in that IP address on my browser on the server side like this, I could get that one, or I could just type in the IP address, whatever the IP address of this one is. Let me just go from CMD here, command prompt, and say ns lookup www.mywebuniversity.com. Notice that the ns lookup, whether you're on Windows or Unix, it works the same way. So if I just copy that one, and then instead of just typing the DNS name, I just type in this one that resolves to this HTTPS, but notice the common name does not match here. It says, do you trust it? I say, yeah, continue. With this one, now it resolves it to that, and it shows that it's there. But it shows not secure because this IP address is not the common name. In order for me to just resolve it, so as a webmaster or something, if you look at it, the common name of that certificate that was there, it is going to show you this view site when you go to this, is this site secure? If you go to the certificate, it says a common name. The common name is www.mywebuniversity. Sometimes we issue like a wildcard, so it match anything with the common, and it doesn't give you that warning. But if you get that warning, make sure your common name matches to the host name that you have, or the IP address. that you have. So if the IP address is not in the common name, obviously it does not match it. There's also SAN, subject alternative name, that you can have more than one just host name. You can do that one. We do that all the time. So let's go back to the command line here. And I want to just, my goal at this time is to say, okay, I made this web server, but I don't want to do any kind of like creating these files all the time and everything. Let me just move this one to a back directory, just because I created. I'm going to make a directory called back. And then just for the backup of these two files, I could just say, well, I did my testing, it worked. I'm going to move a star.html to back directory. So now I have moved it to back directory. On the web server, those ones are not going to respond properly if there's no HTML file. So if I just go on back on the web server here and refresh it again, this one, and since that file is not there, it says not found. And the reason is just an issue here. But if I go to 127.0.0.1, it comes out with the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is also going to resolve. What I want to do is that here, when I do index.html, I want to see MyWebUniversity.com, this page. Okay, so in order to do that one, I'm going to download the files from MyWebUniversity.com into this site. So the faster way that I could have done is just copy the files from that directory and just get them here. So let's just show you what I mean by that. And I'm gonna go right here. As you can see here, I don't have any file that is MyWebUniversity related. So I'm gonna do is copy with my user ID and the one that I'm having access at mywebuniversity.com, and I'm gonna go to var www.html and index.html, and I copy it as the same file. I type in my password, and that file now came out here. See how fast it was? Just to match one file. But that match one file is not gonna just do me good if I want to do more development here. Clear the screen here. Now that file is there. Now I go back to the web server here, and then bring this one back here. And the page that was saying not found, I refresh it. Now it's going to go to mywebuniversity.com. But notice that is on this. So everything that I have on that HTML file is going to still work, because why? Because it's on a network, on DNS. If this machine has network, which I do, and then therefore I could just go to this machine, to my Web University directly here, or to Google and everything. So here, whatever link that is on this one, like for example, this link is going to take you to YouTube, it will take you to YouTube, and that YouTube channel will open. And then the same thing, if I go here, click on this page to go to this, it's going to directly go to my Web University second page, and then it's going to just open up my book here. So all of those information, now I know that it is available. What does that mean? That means that I could just go on my development machine here and say, okay, this is great. If I just want to add something on my page, I don't have to modify it on the production environment. I can do some changes on the development machine and then get it done, and then just do the same work on production. Assuming that, for example, one of the videos that I want to add here, I want to add that one, and then I can just go on the development machine and make some changes and then get it done. As a test, I want to show you one thing here. So this is my development machine. And then for the backup and other ones, I will show you on another video how you could just do the entire web server, all of them just to migrate it rather than one HTML file or one CGI binary to test it. But for now, this video is in order not to get it too long, so you can enjoy it and learn from it. And then the application part of this is important. That's why I'm making these videos. So you can duplicate the same scenario that I can do on your web server or your application that you want to do, and then you have no problems doing it. And then now you can have your own business or your own company serving another things. Like I'm doing this training, you could be doing something else. But running a web server should be easy for you to maintain and control it as an administrator or as a webmaster. And so this is done. Let's assume that on my MyWebUniversity.com, I want to just add the recent Red Hat 9 VMs that I did on this list and just add to it. In order to do that one, instead of just going on this Linux web server and modify it there, obviously I can do the same thing over there and just create an index underscore new if I don't have a development machine, and I could just say, well, I could do this one, and then I incorporate it. What I mean by that one is like here that index.html is there. I could say copy index.html to index.html.back, and then now I have made the backup of it just in case if I made a mistake, I could do it and then say copy index.html to index.html underscore n for new.html. And I could have done this one on my development machine and production machine, which I was doing in the past. When you don't have the luxury of running another VM as a development machine, then you have no solution but to do it this way. This way is also safe because I'm modifying this file and nobody has access to this file yet. I'm going to just modify that file. So I go vim index.html, index underscore n.html. And then when I do this one, so I go to the section where I want to add, let's say for the tabs, I want to add to the bottom as the third one that is there. If I just want to create one more right here, notice that here and this information is, let me just make sure that the last one is available. Table of contents, arrow, index.html. Okay, and then this is the one. So at this time for these one that are showing PDF formatted available online, I could just make one more here, but in order to do that one, I'm going to add another row here. I'm gonna add another row and say table row, and then just close it here, table data, table row here. So that will close it. This slash tr and then tr. Let's just copy this line. So this is tr. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me just say one line 39. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, again, I'm 39. Okay, I could have just copied from 39 to something and paste it there, but it's easier to do it this way. 1, 2. This one is part of that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 14. Okay, So I'm going to just make it simpler on myself rather than copy all the 14 lines. I'm gonna just say delete this one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 of them I'm gonna copy here, starting with TD, say 5YY, and I'm gonna just paste it here. And then I'm going to just copy this TR here, YY here. I'm gonna copy that one and put it right in front of this one, and I'm gonna copy this YY here and paste it right after that one, which is already there's a one here, and that is closing. So that one starts it and this one closes it, and that's the TD that close here. So we're good on this one. And that /TR here, there's 2 of them. I don't need 2 of them. I just need only 1. That's good enough. Okay. So if I just do this, and then this page right now, if I just do a W on it, write it, and I go to my web server, say MyWebUniversity.com, notice my page on MyWebUniversity.com here is gonna show as I like it currently. But now the one that dash index underscore, this is index.html page. The index.html page has all of that one, but has 6 of these ones, right? So now let's look at the index underscore new, which should have the, let me move this one around again, it's blocking my eyes. Okay, index underscore new, let me just type it correctly. Okay, / index underscore new.html, N for new. Notice this one has 7 of them. And then the 7 that I just added this copy of whatever was on this last one, I made this one. So if I just want to change that one on my web server, and I say, oh, I want to just add everything that was Red Hat 9 stuff, and then I could have just say, okay, on this one, if I go back to the videos, this is a list of web server. So this video that I made is about 4 hours. If I want to just add from 0 to hero on that list, the way I do it is click on this one first here. So I get the URL and all that information here. So let me pause this video. And now this is the URL of that video. So I go here, and on this page here, I'm going to just say, okay, this is good. Now I did this one, and let's just make a change on this one to say the last one. And instead of this href, I'm gonna put the href of that page. That page that is currently. So this image, the image that I want to do is, this one is YouTube URL. This syntax requires that the VI and then the name of this, sorry, start something there. Okay, so the name should be this v is equal. I should just get this one up to this, okay, and then I paste it there, and then this t is equal, the tag is this number. I might need that one also, but because it's an ampersand here, I may not do that part there. The ampersand is saying that in another field, t is equal some value, so the timestamp or something. So in this one, hq1.jpg is maybe the right one. And this one says Linux man pages. Alternative name, let's say I just say from 0 to hero. Just that text. And the height, everything is good. And then the Linux Ubuntu, and instead of this one, I'm gonna just write let's just go back here and clean up this. Oops. You could say put another break here, break, and then close it and say Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and then we say from, let's just say from 0 to 0, like that. And then I'm gonna just close this one right here, and then just remove this space here, and then put a break here, break, so it looks nicer. Now I did this one. Notice the actual page here, Linux Red Hat, and then I missed the full course here for there, and I missed the 9. So I could just go again and say, put this as a description, or I could just copy the entire thing here and just go back here and then say on this section, I could have just put 9 here and then here say full course. That would be as simple as that. Or I could just paste it and there and then just do it that way. Whichever method you prefer is best for you. I could do it either way. So now I did that one. Let's go back to this page and say, okay, this page that I brought this screen. Now let's see if I refresh it. Does it look the Red Hat? Yeah, awesome. So it we just updated it on this one, say Red Hat next. Notice the text is also saying what I wanted to see. If I click it, does it take me to the Red Hat 9 full video? Yes, it does. So the whole thing, we did it, and then it is coming with this Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. I definitely recommend this one for you if you want to become a system administrator or web developer or anything on and working as a developer on the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9 or Red Hat 8 or anything. I definitely recommend, because I spend like 4 hours of showing from basic to intermediate to advanced levels. Some of the information that I did is going to help you a lot for school and also for your job, and also and to help others sometimes. You just definitely should watch this video as much as it's possible and to learn from it. And if you have any kind of notes that you thought that I should have covered or could have done better, definitely put a comment there, and I will improve it next time when I make another video. So I could just serve your needs and then the needs of others as well. But for the video that I'm showing you right now, we already did it on the web server here. And this one, if I go back here, notice that this page is done. So if I do the next one, obviously, I will just add another entry and go here on this next one. Let's just add one more and just say, okay, we're gonna do this one, for example, a task for automation for software updates. If you have to do Apache installation. So I'm gonna pause this one. And notice this one is here. And now, so easy it is for you that you just did this work, and all that you have to do is say, count these number of lines from this one, TD. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 4. 4 of them, I'm going to say escape, and I'm going to be on this line. I'm going to say escape 4, YY. Now I'm going to come back here on the TD here, and I'm going to say P. Now paste it, and then I go to the next one here. I just remove this line here, the HTTPS. And that's the URL. So now again, this V to all the way to this, it would be the thumbnail. So I'm going to copy that line here and then I'm gonna go to the thumbnail on the image here. So the image where I say vi is equal, v is equal, and then I put here this new name. That format of image.youtube, it is universal, so most likely it's gonna work. And then instead of that from 0 to hero, I'm gonna say software update for the alternative name here. Software update, any name that you wanna do. Here, Red Hat Enterprise Linux here, and then here say software update. Software update, but it's not Enterprise Linux 9 only. It says that system admin tasks. So for this one would be system admin task. I believe that was what it was. Let me just double check. Red Hat 9.1 sysadmin task software update / patches. So you could write the same word here on, let me just, this time I'm gonna cut and paste it. So you could see that exact wording is gonna help you there. This is the word, and I'm going to come here and remove everything here up to this anchor /tag, and then paste that here. Okay, so the paste copy did not work. Let me just go back to the HTML page here, and right here, right click, say copy, and then come back here and say paste. Now it comes out, but the word R was missed here, so I'm gonna type that one. And because it's too long, I'm gonna just break it here. A line break, sysadmin is good, right after task. Actually, task should be on the same line as sysadmin, so I'm gonna just break it before that. And now if I just do this, on the page that we just used that here, if I refresh it, I should have another column here, and then that would just do it. Notice the number, it did not show the picture. So somehow the image name information is not correct. In order to get the correct image, I could just either download the image, the thumbnail to my web server and point to my web server rather than this, or just see what it is there. Most likely, I think it is this space here. Somehow the JPEG information, it is, yeah, there's a space here. And this information is causing problem because whatever it was here, this information from the Z, it just went to D. But here there's a space. So let me delete those space here. And I believe now should be okay. So let's refresh it. And there you go, we fixed it. So now the thumbnail finds, and then you can see if I click on this one or the thumbnail, it is gonna go to the pages and says, okay, this is the site. Let's see why it didn't take it. Try running Windows network diagnostic, refresh. So somehow the video is not responding from the URL, okay? So the way you fix that one, you go here back and say, okay, the UI, there's one I missing or something is missing. Let's see if that is the URL. Yes, that was the URL. So I copy that one, go back here, and then right here, I make sure, yeah, there's two HTTPS, that's why. So this, get rid of this one, it's already okay. That cut and paste was off. So now if I go back here, say refresh, now this page comes in, the URL is responding, it's fine. And then if I just click here, it's responding, it's fine. And task software update is coming here. So this is how you could see a lot of these pages in a very nice format and everything. and you can see that the details are basically on the URL and the links. So we did it on the web server without having a development server. And then the only thing that if I want to just change those two, I could make the dash new to one more and then get rid of the fourth one. Since this information is accurate, I'm going to do one more thing just to show one more on my web server. Let's do this Python stuff there. So I'm gonna do this Python. By going to this Python, now we have this one. I'm gonna pause this one and I'm going to just demonstrate this one and just coming on this. So in fact, I actually deployed on the production so you know how to do it transparent to the user's need. So once you do it, it is just seamless to the user. As soon as they come in, they see the new page without any downtime. So now I'm gonna copy this time 4YY, these 4 lines, and I'm gonna just paste it before this TR, and then just come back here and modify this page. And now it is much simpler this time because we have already the files, and then, sorry, let me just do it first and then we talk about it after. So now we have done this one. The V is equal, starting from 7 to this. I'm gonna copy that line and then go back to the image here and just change that one to the 7, yes. And then what was the title here again? The title you're gonna just copy from here, say edit copy, and go back to your screen here, and then remove these lines from starting from search of Red Hat. So I'm gonna do remove, let me make sure that I do it at the last one. Yeah, I'm going to do it on this one. And then Windows 11, all videos. So let's just change it starting Jupyter Lab, and then write this, break it there. The N should have been on the first one row. We could do that one rather than N Windows. So have this one there, and then don't skip it here. So the software update in this case is not the alternative name. So I'm going to search for software update, and then the one that we want to do, software update right there. For the Windows, I'm going to just modify that one to just say something like learn Python. That's good enough. Learn Python. Coming back on this one, though here we go back to main thing. Now we should see that learn Python and IPython and Jupyter Lab here. And that's the page that comes in. If you click on it, it goes there. That works. And then if I come back, click here, it works. And then the text is saying Jupyter Lab, everything. So now my page, the main page is already there. And then I could say, well, let's just test this one on the development machine also. Since I did it on the development machine here, I could just say, well, let's do that, see how it works there on the development machine before we deploy it in production. So on this one, Okay, now I'm logged on the production, and I'm going to just go to activities here and then just click here. Notice that index.html is my main page. I'm gonna copy the index.html one. Secure copy, and this one I'm gonna just say index_n.html, the new one. And then I type in the password. It came out. So it is good that is there. I'm gonna just make all of them change ownership, Apache, Apache store. So now all of them are Apache stuff. And then if I wanna do the subdirectory under the www, I could say the sub folders and directories are -r. And even the back is Apache now. So the index.html of new one is different than the one that is on the back directly, as you noted. Excuse me. So let's just go back to the web server here. At this time, if I just go back here on the index.html page, obviously this is just my main page, but I say let's just make this one _n, and then see if _n is going to be pointing to the new one. Yeah, it looks great. So it looks good. And if since I'm on the web server, if I just click on it, it takes me to YouTube, as you can see, right? So the same thing, it takes me to YouTube for the update software, the web server. So we tested this one, and now since I'm on this one, I want to just deploy this one on the development first, as we do on the development server. We say, okay, it looks great. Now I want to just do something here. Off here. So basically, I'm going to just copy the index.html on the development and overwrite the one with the -n. Since that is good, I could say copy index _n.html to index.html. So notice how fast it is, it's done. So now whether I go to the website for one versus the other one, I'm going to just see the other same page, like Linux _n is going to take me to this page, which is everything, or just index.html page here. Index, let me just type it in, localhost //80/index.html. That also take you to the same page here, and then it's available. So notice all of those three are available here. And you can see that this page is also responding to the IPython and Jupyter Lab and everything else. So at this time, if I just do the same thing on production machine, since I did the work here, and then I'm going to just show you how I did this one. And then the other thing that I want to show you, once you made some changes, you make sure that you back up and everything up to date. Now I have made the file called index.html.back, original one. So in case if I just say copy index.n_n.html to index.html. Now I just did that one, index store.html. All the files that are with the backup, everything, index.html and index_n.html. All of the files are there. Now the content of the two files are the same. So if I go on my web server and just visit MyWebUniversity.com, I don't have to be on index_new in order to see these ones. So let's refresh it and see the other screens, and all those trees are showing now here. And those are the ones that we did that one. And then from 0 to hero is this one, Unix history. This page is actually on the web server is supposed to have the newest screen. Let me just see if that one that I had posted from the web server is pointing to the one that we want to do from Linux sysadmin account management. Let me see, refresh this window. Yeah, this is what I want to see. So the thumbnail of the one that we did from the HQ1, most likely this thumbnail I changed it afterward. So it might not be pointing to the one that we point here. And that's why, and so vim index.html, and then if I go to the 0 to hero, 0 to hero, this source that is there, I'm going to try to just open up this page, control C out of this one from HTTPS. So if I copy this URL here and just paste it into a web server here, let's see what page shows up here. And then no space here. Yeah, this is that the history shows up. If I go to hq2.jpg, this one might resolve to the same page, might be resolving to a third page. Let's go to 3. That's another one. And then that is part of the studio that I have all those ones captured at some point. Okay, the 4 is not there. So apparently the number that is there under studio is not the current one, studio.youtube.com. If I look at that one to see what is the one that is there, you can come into your content here, and then on the content page, look for the one that you have for videos. Let me go to my channel. And then sorry, let me just go back again here. Your channels. This is the one that I want to do. If I say, oh, I'm on youtube.com, that's why, studio.youtube.com. I need to be on studio.youtube.com in order to just modify something. Studio.youtube.com, and go back here, and then on videos, okay, so somehow I'm not seeing the rest of them on the studio. I need to be able to see the content here. Okay, all showing us shorts, and this is the one. So this is the one that if I edit this one, you can see on the image here, the one that I have chosen is this one, but it shows the history because previously to that one was there. And this number is different. Let me try this number with, no, actually. So this is executable, and then this is pause this one, and then copy this one, and maybe I get the right video from here. Maybe I have to just refresh it at some other day. Right now it is from 0 to hero, and that's this information. Let me. No, I don't want to modify it. This one, let's say 0 to hero. I'm going to come back here, sorry about this, and let me just come back here and then say 0 to hero. I'm going to modify this URL first to make sure that I have the one that I want that is there. And then the one with the 5 UVY, WY, yeah, it is there. It is accurate. So I just ignore that part. That's okay. The thumbnail, I can just even download the thumbnail to my web server and point to it in that way. In fact, why don't I show you that part, how you do it? So let me show you exactly how you do this. So right now I'm on the Windows machine here. On my Windows machine, if I go here, I have clear the screen here and then CD to demo, images, and then generic. So I have already uploaded that from 0 to hero, this image there. So if I say start the thumbnail, this one was the thumbnail that I did this one on Windows, and that's the thumbnail. So I'm going to upload this one to my web server there first, and then set it up. Let me show you how I do that one. So I do is copy this thumbnail here to my web server, say www at www.mywebuniversity.com/temp. I upload it onto the temp directory first. And there, I have it there. Now I come back here, and all I have to do is here say, and instead of this YouTube HTTPS, I'm gonna just put the image of the 0 to hero, the file, whatever I named it there. So I say www.mywebuniversity.com, and then /images, and then /thumbnail underscore, what would I name it? And let me just come up here and say thumbnail from 0 to hero to hello, I call it. I could just call it to hero, that's fine. It's the JPEG. I could just call it whatever I want here, and then rename it there. So thumbnail underscore from 0 to hero.jpg. So I call it like that under the images directory. I'm going to exit out of here and say cd to var html /images directory here. Now I don't have that thumbnail underscore here, right? So I'm gonna just say move temp /thumbnail underscore star.jpg in here. Now I have that file here. So I'm gonna rename that one, say move this one to exactly the way I named it on the index.html file, say thumbnail underscore from 0 to hero.jpg. And now I did that one. I'm going to change the ownership also to be pointing to data. And so I'll say change owner minus change owner data colon data tn star.jpg. So now the file is modified, clear screen and tn star. It is there, and without the another command %, you can see the file is there. And then inside the JPEG, the index.html file, grep -i hero.jpg, I could say index.html. I make sure that the name that I named it is correctly named here, which is okay. So now I have done that one, and instead of pointing it to the YouTube images directory for thumbnail, I pointed it to my channel. So this part should be updated now with the color that I want, and it did. And that takes me to the same page here. So this is how you do it here. And then for the one for the web server here, notice that on this one, for this one, notice that if I just want to do the same thing here, I just have to get that file from index.html file rather than just update these two files here. So those two files are old. I'm going to, my development server could be just removed these files. I could just say rm index dot whatever it is, I could just remove them and then say remove the two. And now I don't have anything. I copied from the web server from production because the production is good. I copied here using its copy, secure copy. And then from this var html index.html. I could do index star.html or index.html, but at this time I'm interested on the main one, index.html. Now it's there. All I have to do is just minimize this window and say, okay, on the page that was there earlier, let's refresh this one to say that this screen should show up the way I want to see the other one. And you can see that it is good. If I move out here, it's the color's good. And if I click on it, it goes there. Fine. So all of that, we took care of it. Now, last thing that since I did some changes on the web server, I want to show you how to do backup as a sysadmin of your system, so you are up to date with your system. Obviously, the files that you did a backup on, you can just back up the index, the files that were modified, index.html or index whatever .html. Those files that I did underscore n and .html, those files were timestamp of today. So I could have just back up those ones to say .back or something. I could do it a simple way and then just don't do it. But I rather have a full backup of the system because in the last time that I did a backup, I have not done backup on it. So let me go one directory after here, and then I'm going to say let's -l star.targunzip. Notice that the file that I have with the targunzip file here that I have, I'm going to just create one for today. And in order for me to just have a safe way to do it, I have written a shell script here, a shell script for backup, which is called cat my backup.sh, and it's a shell script that I wrote on 6/22 last year. It goes to this destination directory based on timestamp. It creates a targunzip of all the HTML files and give a dash good dash today's date .targunzip, the same thing with CGI bin, and it will be done. So let's -l star.sh. All I have to do is now say my backup.sh, and it will just back up the entire thing. Then I can just get that one into my development environment and then just untar it and then just have it available for my development environment. But because it's a lot, it's going to take a little bit. I'm not going to wait for this to complete. I will show you a way that you could do it on the development machine faster, because before I just do it, I'm going to show you how to back up your development machine before we just download everything from production. And I don't have to show you the production part, but you get the idea how you're going to do it. Okay, so let's just do here. In case if I just want to do the same script here, I go here on the HTML directory and I say it's copy www at www.mywebuniversity.com/, my backup.sh, and then I will try to get that script here. Now I have the backup script here on the development machine, my backup.sh. It is the same one that I run on production because the target and the source directories are the same. This one does not have anything on the HTML. That if I just do df-h var and .html, notice that this is not too much files there, right? So the same thing for CGI bin, there's not that much files yet. So the backup of this one is a piece of cake. It just does it. All you have to say my backup.sh, run it, and it already did it. Notice that it just say that it back up all the entire system. Now you have this gunzip file based on today's date timestamp, the tar gunzip and everything. So you are welcome to just move this one to a temporary location or just keep it based on this today. And then when I download the other one that is done on the server side, that one has a different timestamp or different dates. If I do have to do it on the same one, then I have to move this one on a different location. Notice this one says 165941. That is a different timestamp than the one that we did it on the server on this other machine here that is going to eventually finish. It's going to take a couple of minutes for this, all these, because there are 66,000 technical documentation on this website. You're welcome to go and learn from them. And then just for the Linux Ubuntu, for example, if you look at this one /man_pdf, I have about 6,600 technical PDF files for all the manual pages. And that I wrote a Python program to parse all the commands and then give you a nice PDF files here. So no matter what command you choose, you just click on it, you get the output on a PDF files here. Okay. And then sometimes it is by section 1 through section 9, all of them are here. And so that's what the 6,000 technical documentation. In addition, there's other documentation that I have on the other pages that you could just get it. And one of the pages is this chapter 7, which is all the Linux commands and command line syntax. You can type in the command here and they get the output based on that one. If you type in systemd here, you might be familiar with this environment already because I showed this one on other videos. If you have already seen it, that is already there. Okay. So I'm gonna just give it a couple of minutes for this one. It is still going to run, so I'm not gonna wait for it for an indefinite time, but you get the concept of how to write an automation script so you could back up your system, and then whenever you did it, offload it to another site or somewhere, so you don't have the only backup that if that server is down, you don't lose your backup. If the web server that I have a backup, I need to just have it also on my local machine. That's why I built up this development machine. To do it, you can also burn a golden copy to your USB drives or something that you can just keep a copy of them. Some of them are like a couple of gig files for all these millions of files that were there. Okay, take care. God bless you all. Have a nice one.